So when you look at the lowering costs in particular for Americans, I think that's important when you think about how inflation has increased costs for Americans. If you think about the $100 saving about $100 per year on premiums with ACA, when you think about lowering costs for our seniors, capping that at $2,000 a year instead of thousands and thousands of dollars a month.
She was also asked how people can save money right now, and she said, well, you can put in new windows, you can put on solar panels, you can get air conditioning, and you can get electric cars and you'll get rebates. But people are struggling to pay for their groceries. They're putting it on their credit cards, which now the finance charges and interest rates are higher than they were before.
You ever put in new windows, by the way?
Yeah, it's very expensive.
Yeah,
I don't have that type of money lying around in my bank account.
He's got his little briefcase with the samples. I was like, how do you sleep at night? I was like, the windows cost a fortune. Okay, let's welcome back in our friends. Joining us in studio, the former Speaker of the Oklahoma House of Representatives, TW Shannon. To our left, former National Press Secretary at the Trump White House, Hogan Gidley, back with us, and political analyst and best-selling author Mark Halperin is here. Mark, we'll start with you this hour. I'm wondering, just from an optics perspective, the stock market yesterday, the Dow, and obviously this took place before the market closed yesterday afternoon, this event on the south lawn of the White House. But the market was in the red all day. The Dow down 1,300 points, the NASDAQ 600 points. The S&P was down 4%. They went forward with this little performance yesterday, is what it was, to celebrate the Inflation Reduction Act. Why didn't they cancel this event?
Because they're following one of the great dictums of politics, which is move 800 miles an hour and see if anybody can slow you down, even in the face of data that would cause some people some cognitive dissonance. And I think they just figured doing a big splash event, promoting a piece of legislation that they cleverly called it an inflation fighter, was better than sitting around waiting to issue a press release trying to explain why things still cost so much.
Logan, you've been in the position, you've been in the White House. When something like this were to happen, when you were there, I mean, wouldn't you advise the president? I mean, is everybody behind the scenes not saying anything and thinking that this is a good idea? Even CNN yesterday, I was watching their coverage, they pulled away from the event and went and talked about the stock market.
Right.
Well, first of all, I want to take something that Mark said and kind of drill down on that. The last thing you could ever accuse the Joe Biden administration of doing is moving at 800 miles an hour. Talk about all-time slowness. That administration is ridiculously slow, but they're also ridiculously tone deaf, as evidenced by this press conference, this extravaganza, this celebration. And I'm not sure what they were focused on, either the record high inflation or the record dip in the stock market. I mean, completely ignoring what the American people care about. Look, you knew this date was coming and what information was coming out on the date. You should have yanked this thing like you were starting a lawnmower. Right. The problem is once you get everything in place to pull it, it would, in essence, be an admission that there are problems with this so-called Inflation Reduction Act, which we all know doesn't reduce inflation. Instead, they can be that tone deaf because the media is going to come along right beside the administration and say, see, look how great the Biden administration is, and completely lying to the American people about it.
But Hogan, this isn't just being tone deaf, right? This is actually cruel. You have Americans who are actually hurting. When you talk to real Americans out in the, in middle parts of America, people are hurting right now. And the fact that you would be cracking open bottles of champagne to celebrate, what the economy is doing right now, it's actually cruel. And people get their 401k statements, it's going to be horrifying. And this just goes to show you how out of step and out of touch the Biden administration really is when it comes to the real issues facing the American people. Again, what we've seen them be focused completely on is identity politics, but that only goes so far. You can't blame Donald Trump anymore. You have to run absolutely on your record, and the record of the Biden administration right now is one of failure. Whether you're talking about the economy, you're talking about the border, you're talking about the crime crisis, there is no way that this party or this administration has anything to celebrate, and certainly not the economy, and the American people aren't celebrating with them.
And then Karine Jean-Pierre literally lying to the American people. We'll play the soundbite, and then I'll prove to you that she's lying. Take a listen.
When you look at the data, the inflation data, we're seeing more progress bringing global inflation down in the U.S. economy. As I just stated moments ago, overall, prices have been essentially flat in our country these last 2 months. That is welcome news for American families, with more work still to do.
She had to go to the grocery store.
No, seriously. Okay, so prices have been essentially flat. That's a quote from our White House press secretary. Look, I get that her job is to spin the messaging. I grasp that. Here's some numbers from the Labor Department. This makes it pretty clear how flat our prices are not, and this is only year over year, okay? Stuff you get, bread, cereal, up 17% almost, milk, 16%, food at home, all right, almost 14%. Food overall, 11%. And these are just estimates. By the way, I would love for one of those numbers to be where inflation is 8.3%. Yeah. They're all well above.
And rent's going up. Electricity is going up. I mean, look at this. Everything is up. I don't understand where she's getting her information from.
Good luck heating your house this winter. Look at that, 27% to heat your house.
I'm from an energy producing state, and I can tell you it is only going to be worse. I mean, you look at what's happening in our food supply, the issues surrounding food supply issues, the cost of fertilizer. Prices are going to go we're going to have real problems in this country and around the world, and it's directly related to the policies that have been pushed forward by the Biden administration. And again, what we know is this: if you want more of something, you tax it. If you want less of something, if you want it to cost more, you subsidize it. And that's exactly what we're seeing. We are paying the price for the failed policies of the Biden administration right now.
Okay, minute left. Mark, did Lindsey Graham ruin it yesterday for Republicans? Take a listen.
The science tells us at the 15-week period, the nerve endings of the baby are pretty well developed and the child feels pain. After 15 weeks, no abortion on demand, except in cases of rape, incest, to save the life of the mother. I think there are 47 of the 50 European countries have a ban on abortion from 12 to 15 weeks.
Okay, Mark, your reaction. On the same day the stock market has its worst day in 2+ years, Lindsey Graham literally steals the headlines yesterday afternoon and talks about a nationwide 15-week ban on abortion 55 days from the midterms. Was that the right move?
More political genius on display there from a South Carolina Republican, with the possible exception of when Hogan Gidley dined alone. I don't know a single Republican who thinks that was a smart political move. On the other hand, if you go to a Waffle House in Columbia, they're probably talking more about inflation than about Lindsey Graham. But for Washington, for the media filter, it gave the press every opportunity to write about an issue on which Republicans are on the wrong side of public opinion, even if Lindsey Graham thinks what he's doing is right morally and ethically. Politically, not a great idea.
Hogan, we're out of time, but I do want you to, that quote you had earlier this morning, it was brilliant. Defeat from the jaws of
victory. Absolutely.
Yes.
And it's not Waffle House in South Carolina, it's Lizard's Thicket. Mark ought to know that.
Yes.
And they are not happy with Lindsey Graham in the hallways of Lizard's Thicket today.
I think Mark is a franchisee at Lizard's Thicket, actually.
There are no hallways in the Lizard's Thicket. It's all one big open space.
There are pictures of people there who have been around that place. We're famous, and Mark Halperin has a picture there, if I'm not mistaken.
We all got to go. Field trip.
Gauntlet has been passed, dropped, thrown. Thanks, Mark.
I'm Team Waffle House. Sorry.
Yes. Cracker Barrel. Okay, TW Shannon, Mark Halperin, Hogan Gidley. Good stuff this morning. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
Hey guys, it's Rob Carson. September is historically the worst performing month for the stock market, so you better be ready for it. The Fed continues to aggressively raise rates, and JP Morgan is forecasting another mega rate hike September the 21st. Is that why Jamie Dimon said an economic hurricane is coming our way? Well, gold and silver have remained remarkably stable despite the Fed aggressively raising rates today. The Patriot Gold Group has a special incentive for Newsmax viewers. Huge! Now precious metals investors can enjoy the no-fee-for-life gold and silver IRA on qualifying rollovers, or enjoy free, discreet, insured shipping on all direct gold and silver purchases. Here's the number, 800-356-4470. Call 800-356-4470 today.